Hello everybody and welcome back to Show and Tell. What we're doing today is a Sony PlayStation 2. This thing right here is pretty cool. It was released in North America on October 26th, the year 2000. Pretty good year. I remember it like it was 17 years ago. Jeez, I'm getting old. Alright, so aside from that, I'm going to show you some of the other cool stuff about it, but let me talk a little more about some of this other stuff. But let me start out first by making a bit of an announcement. I'm doing this video a lot differently than I normally do these videos. So what I'm going to do, no more friggin' jump cuts everywhere. I'm just going to roll with it, and if it's awful, then it's awful. But whatever, we'll change it next week if this is really that bad. Alright, so this sucker right here, the PlayStation 2 that I just showed you, this thing sold over 155 million units. That is a lot. That is so many units. In fact, it is the top selling, the number one selling console of all time. That is so many consoles. Nothing has even gotten close today. Okay, but aside from that, let's talk about some of the other interesting aspects of this. I'm probably going to be bending down to pick this thing up a lot because I like to talk with my hands a little bit. Alright, so let's start with the memory card stuff. This thing had 2 memory card slots right here. It's a weird way of storing memory because today we do things a lot differently. We have internal hard drives in a lot of the consoles that we have today. In which, as you can see here, the bigger model of the PlayStation 2, you could actually install a hard drive right here, but you had to get the entire back unit, or it may have came with it. I don't know. I bought this system used. Other things. So today we use a lot of normal HDMI stuff, and this is pretty much the standard stuff. But back then, HDMI was not in yet. It was all AV stuff. So that's what you got right there, and then you had a digital out for optical audio junk. But that's pretty much the ins and out of it. On the front, this was actually one of my favorite features right here. I'm gonna get a little closer. It's a minor little detail, but it is what it is. The PlayStation logo right there, you have it sit this way. Oh, you like it like that. You stand it up, boom. That's actually on both the fat model and the slim model, which I bet Jungle Pants didn't know about. He's standing behind the camera, and he's like, whoa! But anyway, so one of the annoying things about this console to me is the power situation. Well, so what happened here is you plug it in like normal, but it had this switch on the back. This was the power switch. And this here was simply a standby or reset, it says on it, reset switch. So this I thought was really annoying because in order to actually turn the system off, you had to flip the switch off. And I think that could probably have burned up some consoles before they were in their prime, I guess, or early. Anything else? Okay, you know what? Let's talk about the... Boom! This sucker right here. I'll set this down. This is the controller. Now, I showed you guys a controller 2 weeks ago for the PlayStation 1. This thing is essentially the exact same controller, and they carried it over from the PlayStation 1 into the PlayStation 2. And the PlayStation 3, I think I also said in that last video, it pretty much stayed the same for the first 3 consoles. It's pretty cool, it's pretty nice, and it's become pretty much a signature of PlayStation with the basic X, square, triangle, and O controls. So that's also pretty cool. Some of the other cool stuff that came with this console, well, didn't come with it, but were additions for it, was the PlayStation Eye, which essentially was... It was basically the Kinect for the PlayStation 2 before Kinect came out. However, I don't think it really gained enough traction to be noticed as much as Kinect was, because Kinect was advertised better, maybe? I don't know. So, let's talk about the other controllers. Now, the PlayStation 2 was actually a DVD player as well. Really cool. So instead of having to go and buy a DVD player on top of your gaming console and spend all that extra money, you could just play the DVDs on your PlayStation 2. And in fact, that's not the only cool thing about that. In fact, it also had TV remotes you could buy for it. So you could use it exactly like a DVD player. No stupid things. You didn't have to use the PlayStation controller to do all this stuff. It was pretty intuitive. It was really nice. Alright, so let's get into my favorite part of these videos, and that's where I tell you about its impact on my life. So, the PlayStation 2, I don't think I even owned one until I was living in California, so I must have been about, let me think, I was probably about 12 or 13 when my family first got one. So that means it was way past. I think the PS3 was already out when we first got our PS2. But anyway, my family was poor. So yeah, this thing was pretty cool. Being one of our first PlayStation consoles in the household, it was pretty interesting. We didn't play a whole lot of games on it, though. I don't even remember what the first game we had for it was. You know what? I think I remember. I bet you it was Rock Band. Or Guitar Hero, sorry. Because Guitar Hero, I remember, was one of my favorite games back then. So, Guitar Hero was one of the main things for me. I'm stumbling along here. Anything else? Not really. I did end up buying this particular console that I showed you back a year or two ago. And I bought it from someone who was selling it. I got it for $50 for this and like 50 games. So it was really worth it. So yeah, that's about it. That's its impact on me. It really wasn't one of the most impactful consoles for me. I did get to play it at some of my friends' house when I was younger. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and subscribe to become a winner today. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks for the next show and tell. See you guys later.